Hello, I am Pramod Kumar. Today our subject is accountancy. Our chapter is financial statements of a company, and we have divided this chapter in three parts. Part 1 we have already discussed in the previous video, in which we discussed nature, meaning, objectives and types of financial statements of a company. Now, in part 2 of 3, this is part 2 of 3, we will discuss out of the types of financial statements, we will discuss balance sheet, right? So, here you will find we have represented balance sheet of a company as on 31st of March. As you know, balance sheet means balance of assets and liabilities, right? And as at the end of a period, we call it position statement. It shows the position of liabilities and assets as at the end of a period. If it is 31/3/2020, so it represents whatever is the position of liabilities and assets as at the end of 31/3/2020, right? So now we go ahead. See here, but you will find you need to notice it very carefully. Here we have liabilities, here we have assets, right? Particulars, first column is particulars, second is figures as at the end of current reporting period. If it is 31/3/2020, if it is 31/3/2020, then figure as at the end of current period means 31/3/2020. Figure as at the end of previous reporting period is 31/3/2019. Same way for asset side, particulars. Then next column is figure as at the end of current reporting period 31/3/2020. Figure as at the end of previous reporting period 31/3/2019. Now look carefully at the items. Towards the liability side, you will find four major items, and then you will find sub items. Those four major items are shareholder funds, share application money pending allotment, non-current liabilities, current liabilities, right? As per the regulations, the companies are mandated to declare share application money pending allotment of shares separately, right? That is why it forms another part. So, under equities and liabilities side of the balance sheet, under equities and liabilities side of the balance sheet, we have four major heads, four major items. Shareholder funds, share application money pending allotment, non-current liability, current liability, and then we have total. Then you go to the asset side. Asset side, there are two major heads, two major items. Non-current assets, current assets, right? Non-current assets, current assets. Whatever is not classified under current assets is classified under non-current assets, various heads, subheads of non-current assets, right? So, we go to the liability side first. First head is shareholder funds. It constitutes of three major items: share capital, reserves and surplus, money received against share warrants. right? So shareholder funds, three subheads: share capital, reserves and surplus. Reserves and surplus means over the last so many years the company has kept on earning profits and or incurring losses, and whatever is the resultant period, whatever is plowed back into the business, reserves and surplus, it keeps on getting here. Then money received against share warrants. Share warrant, what it is? It is a document issued by a company under its common seal. Every company has a common seal of its own. Under its common seal, it states that its bearer is entitled to shares or stock specified therein. Whatever the company issues, in that it is written that its bearer is entitled to shares or stock specified therein. And share warrants are negotiable instruments. Share warrants are negotiable instruments. They are transferable by mere delivery, and the transfer doesn't need registration process, right? Share warrants are transferable, they are negotiable instruments and transferable by mere delivery without registration of transfer. They are share warrants, right? Now we go to the second head, share application money pending allotment. The company has received share application money, but against that money shares are yet to be allotted. Money has been received, shares yet to be allotted due to whatever reasons. So as per the regulations, companies are mandated to show this figure separately in their balance sheet. Third major head is non-current liabilities. Those liabilities which are not to be met within the operating cycle of 12 months, right? Suppose we are talking of financial year 2019-2020, right? And we are as on 31/3/2020. Today we are standing as on 31/3/2020, and this is the balance sheet as on 31 as at the end of 31/3/2020. So here under non-current liabilities, those liabilities will come which don't need to be repaid over the next 12 months from 31/3/2020, right? Your concept must be clear. Non-current liability, those liabilities which don't need to be met by the company over the next 12 months, means they need to be made beyond 12 months. So if we are talking of balance sheet as on 31/3/2020, these are the liabilities which don't require to be met within 12 months from 31/3/2020. And what are the four major subheads? Long-term borrowings, right? Suppose a company has availed term loan which is to be repaid over next 3, 5, 7, 10 years. That will come here, non-current liability. It is a liability but doesn't need to be paid within 12 months from 31/3/2020. Deferred tax liability net. Deferred tax liability. It is a tax liability but it is deferred. So what is deferred tax liability? It is a tax that is assessed or is due for the current period, right? But has not yet been paid. It is a tax which has been assessed for the current period, but not yet paid. That is called deferred tax liability, or tax liability which is deferred, right? It records the fact the company will in the future pay more income tax. More income tax means whatever it is paying today during FY 2019-2020, it will pay more during the next year, pay more income tax because of a transaction that took place during current period. The transaction has taken place during FY 31/3/19, FY 2019-2020, and certain amount of tax has been assessed for this period, but it is not paid during this period. It has been kept for the next period to be paid. That is why it is a tax liability, but it has been deferred for payment, deferred from the current year, right? Then third item is other long-term liabilities, right? Other long-term liabilities. Suppose the company has availed certain advances, certain loans, certain things from its associate concerns or whatever. Other long-term liabilities which are not expected required to be paid within next 12 months from 31/3/2020. Then long-term provisions. Those provisions which have been made for long-term, not for the next 12 months from 2020, 31/3/2020. Then we have the fourth major head, current liabilities. Those liabilities which need to be paid within a period of 12 years from 31/3/2020, from the balance sheet date, right? So four major things come there. Short-term borrowings. Suppose working capital, right? A company has availed working capital finance. So that is called short-term borrowing. Trade payables. The company has purchased goods on credit, and the credit terms are that they need to be paid within next 12 months from the balance sheet date. That is current liability. Other current liabilities, right? Sundry creditor expenses, or company has incurred expenses but it is yet to pay. So that is other current liability, and it is to be paid within 12 months from 31/3/2020. Short-term provisions. As here we had long-term provisions under non-current liability, under current liability we have short-term provisions. The company has made provisions which need to be paid within 12 months from the balance sheet date, right? And then we get to the total here. Now we come to the asset side. Two major heads, non-current assets, current assets. Under non-current assets, what are non-current assets? All those assets which cannot be converted into cash within the operating cycle or within next 12 months from the balance sheet date. Current assets, all those assets which can be converted into cash within the operating cycle or within 12 months from the balance sheet date. So under non-current assets, fixed assets. Under fixed assets we have four subheads. Tangible assets, land, building, plant and machinery, equipments. Intangible assets. What are intangible assets? See, loss is an asset and it is an intangible asset, right? Goodwill. Those kind of assets which cannot be touched, which cannot be seen, are intangible assets. Capital work in process. Certain capital work has been going on, but it has not been converted into capital goods yet. They are in between. They are under the process of getting converted into capital goods. Capital work in process. Then intangibles under development. Intangible assets are there, but they are yet to be recognized as intangible assets. They are in the process. So they are called intangibles under development, like capital work in process, yet to be converted into capital, and in the process of being converted into capital is WIP, capital WIP. Same way, yet to be converted into intangible asset, but under the process of being converted into intangible asset is intangibles under development. Then non-current investment. The company has made some investments which are not to be realized within the next 12 months. Right? Suppose it has invested in some company or given some loans which are not to be realized within 12 months. Deferred tax assets. Exactly opposite of deferred tax liabilities. It is an item on balance sheet that results from overpayment or advance payment of taxes. Right? The company had to pay X taxes, but the company had paid more than X taxes. Right? So the excess amount of the taxes paid will come here, deferred tax assets. It is the opposite of deferred tax liability, which represents income taxes owed here, and opposite of this, long term loans and advances. If the company has made long term loans and advances which are not expected, which are not scheduled to be repaid within 12 months from the balance sheet date, that is non current asset, and all other non current assets will come here. Then we get to current assets. Under current assets we have 6 items: current investment, inventories, trade receivables, cash and cash equivalent, short term loans and advances, other current assets. What is current investment? The company has invested, made some investment, and which is expected to be realized within next 12 months from the date of the balance sheet. Inventories. Other than non-moving, obsolete inventories, all inventories are considered under current assets. Other than non-moving, obsolete inventories, all are considered under current assets. But that portion of inventory which is obsolete, non-moving, we should not consider under current assets. It should be shifted to other non-current assets. Right? Trade receivables. The company has sold on credit, right? And it is expected to be realized within 12 months from the balance sheet date, then it is current assets. Those trade receivables which have come under doubt of payment, the company is having doubt that it will recover the trade receivables, receive payment, then that part of the trade receivables should be classified as other non-current assets, right? Because the company foresees likelihood of default, so the company doesn't foresee that that portion of trade receivables will be recovered within 12 months from the balance sheet date, so that portion will be shifted to other non-current assets, and all the amount that is expected to be realized within next 12 months will be considered under current assets. And as we know, cash and cash equivalents, current assets. Short term loans and advances. As here the company has advanced long term loans and advances which are considered under non-current assets. Short term loans and advances made by the company, which the company expects to realize within next 12 months from the balance sheet date, will be considered under current assets. Other current assets, all other items which don't fit into these 5 will come here, right? Which are expected to be realized within next 12 months from the balance sheet date. And here we have a comparison for 2 years, previous year and the current year. If we are talking of 31/3/2020, this is 31/3/2020, this is 31/3/2019. Current reporting period 31/3/20, previous reporting period 31/3/2019, right? So Important features of presentation of balance sheet, right? It applies to all Indian companies preparing financial statements starting on or after 1st of April 2011. 1st of April 2011. It doesn't apply to insurance and banking companies and those companies for which a separate form of balance sheet has been mandated, right? Accounting standards shall prevail over Schedule 3 of the Companies Act 2013. Accounting standards will prevail over the Companies Act, Schedule 3 of Companies Act 2013. Disclosure on the face of the financial statements or in the notes are essential and mandatory. Disclosures need to be made on the face of the financial statement or in the notes. Terms in the revised Schedule 3 will carry the meaning as defined by the applicable accounting standards. Balance to be maintained. A reasonable balance needs to be maintained between excessive details. The company should not be giving too much details, excessive details that may not assist users of financial statements and not providing important information. The company should not be supplying too much information, excessive information. It needs to supply all the information that is necessary for the users to make right use of the statement. Then rounding of requirements are mandatory. Vertical format of presentation. This is the vertical format of presentation of financial statement is prescribed. Debit balances in the statement of P&L to be disclosed as a negative figure under the head surplus. Even if from the profit and loss statement we find that loss is there, it needs to be shown under surplus. So, suppose last year reserves and surplus was 1 crore and current year P&L is showing loss of 10 lakhs. So, this figure will become 90 lakhs, right? Because we will be adding negative 10 lakhs to 1 crore, so it will become 90 lakhs, right? Debit balance in the statement of P&L to be disclosed as negative figure under the head surplus. Mandatory disclosure for share application money pending allotment. We have already discussed more than once. Mandatory disclosure for share application money pending allotment. If it was not mandatory, it would have come somewhere here, right? Sundry debtors, sundry creditors replaced by the terms trade receivables, trade payables. Earlier, we used to call it sundry debtors, sundry creditors and sundry debtors. This trade payable, earlier we used to call sundry creditors. Trade receivables, sundry debtors, right? Then shareholder fund, share capital. Then for each class of share capital, the number and amount of shares authorized is to be given. The number of shares issued, subscribed, fully paid, subscribed but not fully paid to be given. Par value per share information to given. What is par value? PAR, par value. It is to be given in the notes to accounts in the balance sheet. Par value refers to a stock value stated in the corporate charter of the company, right? In case of equity, it has not got much relationship with market price of the share. Par value may be 1 rupees, market price may be 200 rupees, right? Par value is also known as nominal value or face value, which is mentioned in the corporate charter of the company, right? Then reserves and surplus. Reserves and surplus are required to be classified as there are 8 major items: capital reserve, capital redemption reserve, securities premium reserve, debenture redemption reserve, share options outstanding account and other reserves. 7 items, right? Here it is only one reserves and surplus, but we can have 7 classifications adding up to this, right? So capital reserve, what is capital reserve? It is derived from accumulated capital surplus of a company. Accumulated capital surplus of a company, and it is created out of capital profit, right? Capital redemption reserve, these amounts are transferred. Capital redemption reserve, these amounts are transferred following redemption or purchase of a company's own shares. Suppose earlier I am the company, I had issued share. Now I am redeeming those shares, purchasing those shares back. So that money is transferred to capital redemption reserve, right? Security premium reserve. What is security premium reserve? It is the gain made by the company when share price is more than the face value of the share, right? Suppose face value is 1 rupee and share price is 5 rupees. So on each share 4 rupees gain is made. That is called, comes under security premium reserve, 4 rupees premium. Debenture redemption reserve, it is a provision. Debenture redemption reserve, earlier debenture was issued, now it is being redeemed by the company, right? So firstly the company issued debenture, got money. Now it is redeeming those debentures and paying money. Debenture redemption reserve, it is a provision to protect investors from possibility of a company defaulting, right? It is a provision to protect investors from the possibility of a company making default. Revaluation reserve, created by a company for purpose of maintaining a reserve account tied to certain assets, right? Revaluation reserve, created by a company for purpose of maintaining a reserve account tied to certain assets. It normally comes into picture when there is volatility in the market price of an asset. If the market price is volatile, goes up, comes down, goes up, comes down, then the company creates this reserve. Share options outstanding account, right? It is a part of shareholder equity transferred to share capital, share premium or general reserve account, right? Share options outstanding account, it is a part of shareholder equity transferred to share capital, share premium or general reserve account. So these are the 7 major things which come under reserves and surplus: capital reserve, capital redemption reserve, security premium reserve, debenture redemption reserve, revaluation reserve, share options outstanding account, right? Current and non-current classification we can see quickly. An item is classified as current if it is involved in entity's operating cycle, if it is expected to be realized settled within 12 months, if it is held primarily for trading, if it is cash and cash equivalent, if entity doesn't have unconditional rights to defer settlement of liability for at least 12 months after the reporting period. All other assets and liabilities are treated as non-current, right? Preliminary expenses are to be written off completely. Preliminary expenses are to be written off completely in the year in which such expenses are incurred, Suppose they are incurred during FY 2019-2020, they need to be written off during that year itself. They should be written off first from securities premium. We have already discussed what is securities premium, right? First they needs to be written off from securities premium, and the balance, if something is still left for writing off, that should be written off from a statement of P&L, right? Securities premium, difference between issue price and par value of a stock. Suppose par value mentioned in the corporate charter is 1 rupee and it is being issued at 3 rupees. Then 2 rupees is the securities premium on a single share, each share, right? Then share application money, borrowings. Loans which are repayable in more than 12 months or beyond operating cycle are classified as long-term borrowings, and which are within operating cycle to be repaid within operating 12 months, short-term borrowings, right? Current liabilities. Current maturities to long-term loan, right? What is current maturities to long-term loan? Suppose the company has availed a loan of 1 crore and it is to be repaid over 5 years, 20 lakhs each year. So, current next 12 months installment, 20 lakhs, will fall under current liabilities, right? Suppose a company has availed a term loan of 1 crore which is to be repaid over next 5 years, equal 20 lakhs each, interest being paid separately, then 20 lakhs means next 1 year repayment, 20 lakhs will come under current liability as on 31/3/2020. I hope you found it easy to understand. In case of any difficulty, you may please approach me on my email ID, which will be there at the thumbnail to the video. Thank you.